Have you ever found yourself to be so anxious and so nervous that you can't sleep? And literally all you could think about is whatever issue is or problem that's causing you to be anxious. Well, that was me last Friday. And to be honest with you, for this period of time, the past month or so, I would say I was in a just anxious all the time. And the funny thing is, I made a video previously, like a couple months ago, about finding rest in God and how He is our refuge and our shelter, and that we could just rest in Him. And as I launched this new program through my business for the 5 days sales challenge, I found myself to be extremely anxious and extremely nervous. And I just woke up one night and just started praying. And I'm like, God, what is it that you want me to do? And through that, He started answering a lot of my questions. I would literally write the question down, and then a verse would come to mind, and then I would read it, and it would be like, oh, okay. And then I would ask the next question, and He would give me another verse. And again, I still find that to be mind blowing, that how God speaks to us. But the other thing is after going through all of those verses and all of those things where He told me exactly what I need to focus on and how I need to just be disciplined and all of the things that He told me, um, I did definitely find rest, but the next day I was still a little anxious. I was still a little anxious and nervous, and was like, okay, so how does this apply? Like, how do I, you gave me these steps, but like, where do I go? Like, how do I do this? It's like I wanted a roadmap, and realizing that God doesn't give us roadmaps, right? And it's more like a direction, right? Like, go north, not turn left and right, which is what I wanted. I wanted to know the exact steps I needed to do in order for me to succeed. And I think a lot of time as entrepreneurs, like, we focus a lot on the outcome. Yes, you have to have a process, and yes, you could step your process, but it's like if I don't see the outcome, I'm automatically like, hey, this is not working, it's not successful, and I want step by step of what to do. And in this season, He's not giving me step by steps. He's giving me like go north, like more like a compass, right? And so I was sitting here one day and asking more clarifications, and I found myself to get again starting to get anxious because I'm like, okay, I get you told me to do these things, but exactly what I need to do, like what step I need to take first. And He told me almost the same thing as the previous month when I did my last video, and I was to rest. And so I stumbled on a YouTube video that I thought was almost like Him confirming what it is that I was looking for, what it is that I needed at the time. And I wanted to share what the YouTube video shared, and what and how it resonated with me, and how at that moment that's exactly what I needed, especially as entrepreneurs, that you're trying your best, you're doing everything that you're doing, but you're not seeing the results that you feel like you should be getting. And in that moment, you either feel like, God, did I miss your call? Like, is this really what you want me to do? Did I miss what it is that you wanted me to do? And that's honestly a lot of time where I'm at. So I wanted to share with you guys the video name and the three things that he mentioned, and my perspective on it. So he said the video is by Lee Malulu or Malolo. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but it says, I stopped praying to God to fix my problems, and they were fixed. Um, and again, it's by Lee Malolu, and it's spelled Malaulu. You could check him out, and I'll put his link in the description. But yeah, in that video, he talked about some of the things that he stopped doing, and how in those places the problem got fixed anyways, right? And I will have to tell you, there are times where I wanted to keep control so much. In the moment I surrendered, in the moment where I was just like, hey, God, I surrender this. Like, I, I tried everything. I don't know what else to do. And this is when things just start flowing because I was no longer in my own way. And so the first thing that he mentioned was be still. And when he said that, I'm like, I know exactly what he's talking about. Is be still and wait on God. Not as in like be still and do nothing, right? Because I feel like a lot of times when we hear be still, we're thinking like, oh, that means I do nothing. That is not what it means. But being still as in letting go of control, letting go of control and letting go of that anxiety, letting go of all of the emotions of like I need to be I need to do this, that, and especially for my personality type, right? I need my hands on things. I need to do all of the stuff, right? So, and being still at first for me was when I first understood what like before I understood what being still meant. Like I was just like, there's no way I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing, right? And that's not what being still means. And letting go of control doesn't mean that you don't do anything, right? So in my business, I'm letting go and control in the fact that I am letting go of control of what I think the outcome should be of this thing. I'm letting go of control of what I think, how I think things should fall into place, and just trusting God and just letting Him do His thing and letting Him guide me to the point I'm like, okay, do I need to do this? And whatever I feel like is the response in prayer and resting in, I move and I just let go of expecting a certain type of outcome. That's what has been really, really helpful for me. And as someone who likes to be in control, that is something that I am continuously learning and being still. But it does give you a sense of peace, which is the next thing I want to talk about. That he also, I'm talking about the exact same 3 steps that he talked about in the video because literally, like last Friday when I was talking to God, those are the things that he mentioned as well. And then when I saw the video, I was like, oh, okay, this is confirmation that everything I heard was exactly that. And another one of this gentleman's video, he talked about some testimonies of people letting go. And I know for me, um, even in my short-term rental business, right, there was a lot of things that I still was trying to control so many things and trying to like, you know, do all of the things that I thought I needed to do and like trying to figure out how do I increase my bookings and how do I do this and things. And at one point, like during the slow seasons, I was like, God, I'm not making enough money to cover my my expenses. Like I don't know. Again, the first thing is like I don't know if this is the right business for me because it's not giving me the numbers that I'm expecting. And again, God told me to let go, to let go of the will that I was holding on so tightly and let it go. And again, the same thing. I will tell you, on that season, I will give you the story. On that season where for me, a big idol in my life was money. And I was the type that I needed to always have this certain amount of money in my account. And because the business at that season wasn't doing what I thought it should be doing, um, and it wasn't doing what it needed to do, right? So the mortgage wasn't being covered. So in a season, I had to keep paying the mortgage out of my own, personal funds because the business wasn't covering it. And so I'm sitting there looking at my account dwindle, right? Things kept coming up, and the business doesn't have funds to cover those things that are coming up. So I had to cover them. And I was just like, yo, God, this is not okay. I'm the type that I need 3 months of expense in my account, and I'm down to my last $1,000, and the mortgage is due, and I just don't know what to do. And the again, my personality, I'm freaking out, I'm anxious, I can't sleep, all of that. And at one point, I'm just like, God, what do I need to do? Mind you, again, I said I had $1,000 left on my account, and God told me to give this person money. I was like, no, he at first he's like, go help this person. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go help this person. I love interior designing, right? And they have this bedroom that they wanted to get fixed, so I'm gonna go ahead and help them fix the bedroom. And he's like, no, I need you to give them money. I was like, oh, okay, like I don't know, they just bought a house. I'm gonna give him like 200-300 bucks, right? Again, I'm in a pinch here. I have to pay my mortgage, right? Um, and God's like, no, I need you to give him $1,000. I was like, hold up, that is not God, because the math is not mathing. I have $1,000 in my account, and I'm already short for the mortgage. Even that $1,000 cannot cover my mortgage. What are you talking about? You want me to give $1,000 to this person? Like, no, there's no, there's no way. No, that's not gonna happen. But it would not light up. It was like, give this person $1,000. Y'all, it took me a little bit, that obedience thing I had to work on, but I finally was just like, okay, I wrote the check. I went to their house. I gave them the money. I was like, this is not of me. God told me to do it, so I'm just gonna do it. So, and I'm not gonna lie, it did feel good to give him the money, to understand that the night before that is what they told me. They were just asking for God, like how to deal with the financial challenges that they were facing, and I'm like, man, God, you're amazing. So I was really, really happy. And at the same time, I'm like, okay, are you going to send somebody to send me my mortgage payment? Because now I'm at zero, zero. And I kid you not, I think that was like a Friday, Friday or something like that. On Sunday, I got a booking for a month, which of course covered that month mortgage and things like that. But that person ended up staying with us for 9 months. 9 months. So in those 9 months, I didn't have to worry about my mortgage being covered. I did not have to worry about, you know, things that came up because the funds were there. And it was a contract that we had with the company for those 9 months. And I share this story because when he said be still and let go of control, I remembered that specific season. And while right now I'm kind of like in a similar season and I was freaking out and I was like, oh my God, this, and that. What am I going to do? Is this the right thing? I'm not seeing the numbers and all of those things. Like, am I wasting my time, right? And for me to hear be still and to just let it go, again, letting go of control. My way, like his way, are higher than my way, right? His understanding is far beyond mine. So sometimes it can be very, very hard to let go of control because we feel like, hey, God needs help in this area. You take it too long, my man. I think I got it. I'm gonna do this and that to get this shirt is backwards. I just realized that. Um, to get the things that we want, to try to get the things that we feel like we need. And so I'm here to tell you, sometimes it's just that you just need to surrender, let God take control, let go of control, and things will work out so much better than what you would ever think possible. Um, so that was the first thing, was be still, let go of control, be still, let God take care of it, surrender to him, surrender his presence. And the second part was to receive his love. So when he said that, to receive his love, I was like, what does that mean? Again, it brought me back to to rest, to rest in Him, to receive His love, and to reflect on His love. What does it mean to be loved by God? And you could think of that example of like the moment I let go, God took care of me. But one of the testimonies that the gentleman was sharing of a young lady who's was paralyzed for months or years or whatever, and she got miraculously healed. I hope I'm saying that word right. She got a miracle, y'all, and her legs were were back to normal. Like she could run, she could talk, and she was like, "Oh God, what can I do for you? What can I do for you?" And God just told her, "Come and take a bike ride with me." And when um, when she said that, I was like, "Oh man, like God is just asking her to be intimate with her, with him again, like on their bike ride, like he used to, like she used to do before whatever happened." And it wasn't like go on missions and go do this, do that she was expecting. It was just like just come and take a bike ride with me, and that's the testimony he shared on the thing. And it really made me rethink and remember that God is our Father. He loves us so much. Like he just wants us to be in his presence, to bathe in his love. And the more I remember that, the more I'm like, wait, even if this doesn't work out, that doesn't change the fact that God still called me. That that doesn't change the fact that God still loves me. That doesn't change the fact that God is still making things work out for my good. He said he will make all things work out for your good for those who love him and are called according to his purpose, right? So because he loves me, even if this thing that I'm doing was not called according to his purpose, right? He was like, you totally misunderstand me, and that's not what I told you to do. But, and I fall, and it's just crash and burn, right? But the amazing thing is I would fall in his hands. And that's the thing I have to remember is like God works everything out for my good, and I will fall in his hands. And all I have to remember is to rest in his presence, because none of this even matters at the end of the day, right? He says seek first his kingdom, and all of these things, all of the things that we run after, all of the things that we try to pursue, we try to grasp, or we try to leave a legacy, get money. Those things are important, but the most important thing is the kingdom of God. And so when he said that, I love Psalm 91. I read this psalm every night to my son. And again, when thinking about receiving his love, the first verse that came to mind was the first verse where it says, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." Like, you know how like later on in the verse he talks about how he will cover you with his feathers. And I own chickens, and I don't know if you ever noticed, like chickens when they're little chicks, like let's say it's raining and they're scared, they all run under the chicken wings, and like she protects them from the elements, and they're like really like find coziness under their mother's wings. And that's what I think of, like when all of the things of the world are going crazy, and you just feel like, how can I handle all of these things, like from work to the business, having a family, having sick child, having all of those different things that you have to balance as an entrepreneur. Because whether your business is going well or not, like life be lifing, okay? Because I'm in this season where our car just got totaled and all of those things, and it's like life stay lifing, but I can rest in the shadow of the Almighty, because under his wings I find refuge. And knowing that he loves me and works everything out for my good, no matter what the circumstance may look like, I have to keep reminding myself that it doesn't matter if this 5 day self success challenge doesn't work out the way I want, as anxious as I am, as nervous as I am, as excited as I am. And I'm like, God, like, all of those things. It's like, I want you to understand that you can rest in me. You can let go of control, be still, rest in me, and bathe in my love, bathe in my presence, bathe in my love. So those are the first two things that I was just like, this is exactly what I heard Friday. And for me to hear that again was like a confirmation, like, okay, like this is exactly what I needed to hear. And I definitely wanted to share that with you guys because I'm like, I can't be the only one going through this season where there are a lot of big decisions that you have to make. And you just don't know where to go, like where to start. And even getting the answer is like, okay, what does that exactly mean? Like, I need the step by step, like, being like, I need an answer and I need like a very specific answer. At least that's how I operate. I'm like, okay, I get it. You said do this. Like, what does that mean exactly? So just let go of that control and then just bask in his love and knowing that he got you. He knows the plan. Like one of the things I was my friend and I were talking about is like, isn't it dumb how we fight God on certain things when he's like, I know the plans that I have for you. He sees the future, right? So if you had a friend, right, that is like, hey, yo, I'm in this business and tomorrow this is what they're going to do. I need you to go left. You would trust this person because they're in that business, right? And they're like, you need to invest in XYZ. And because trust me, like insider knowledge, right? I think that's illegal, but you get what I'm saying. Like they're telling you, like, hey, trust me, you need to move left, right? And you're like, nah, I think I'm gonna move right. Like, would that be smart? Knowing that they're in the business and like they have all of this knowledge. No, you would be like, hey, this person knows what they're talking about, so I'm just gonna move left, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, we have a God who literally knows 2050 what's gonna happen, right? If he doesn't return. But if he doesn't return today, because I'm like, whew, by the time I want you to come back. But anyways, he knows exactly what's gonna happen in 2050. And yet when he tells us like, hey, just go north, we're like, well, I don't know, because north looks a little cloudy right now. I don't know if I should move north. Like, it's crazy that we do that to our Father who loves us and knows the future. Like and I'm saying that not because I'm like whatever. Like I do this myself, and sometimes I'm just like, girl, why? Like, just trust him. Just trust him. But the last thing he said was ask God for his perspective, right? Ask God for his perspective in the situation, and listen to what he has to say. And that's exactly what I did last Friday. I was like, I asked him exactly, what do I need to do? And I will share with you. I'm not going to share everything that he told me because I had like 3 pages of stuff of like, he would say something and I would write a question and he would give me another verse. But I will share the first thing he told me when I asked him, what I need to do about all of these different things. And he sent me to Proverbs 12:1. Like the first thing that jumped at me is like, whoever loves disciplines, loves knowledge. And discipline, the word discipline jumped at me. And I was just like, okay, but what does that mean? And he would give me, he was like, look up the definition of discipline, right? So, but either way, as I went through that whole thing and asking him questions, and he's giving me his insight. It's like, what's the point of asking God for his insight if we're not going to listen to what he says, right? And because we don't listen to what he says, because we don't listen to his insight, because we don't read his words and his instructions, a lot of times I feel like that's what really makes us anxious and nervous, or um, like want to keep control. And I think for me, for the longest time, I just didn't believe. And that's what I had to realize. It's like, I didn't believe that he can do the things that he said he would do. And that's why I couldn't let go of control. that's why I felt like I needed to do everything, because I didn't believe that, hey, in every circumstance, he got my back, even if things look bad, he still has my back. And so I had to come to the realization and accepting the fact that you don't believe God. You don't believe God when he says he got you. You don't believe God when he says, you know, I know the plans I have for you and it's plans for you to prosper. I didn't believe that. And I had to remember, um, I had to come to that realization that, okay, I need to believe what you say. And the fact that I asked you a question and you told me exactly what it is, you gave me your perspective, I need to just move with that and let everything go, let go of the control, let go of the expectation and the outcome that I feel like I should get because I want to be in control, right? And so that's everything I wanted to share with you guys today. I wanted to share that if you are in a season, whether you're in a business, you own a business, you're in a business or not, but especially if you do, and you are in a season where you like things are just seems to be like coming at you back to back, and you feel either out of control or like you need to take control. I do want to encourage you to be still in God, to trust in his word, to believe his word when he say he got you, and to just bask in his love. Just remember that he is Abba, he is Father. He loves you. He deserves all the respect and reverence in the world, but he is still daddy. He still wants you to sit on his lap and play with you and talk to you and have fun with you and just be the father that he is for all of us. And so I hope this episode was uplifting and encouraging, that you can, again, rest in him, be still, and let go of the control, especially for us control freaks out here. It's just a reminder to let go of control. Let go of control. Let God handle it. Trust in his word and believe his word. When you ask for his perspective and he gives it to you and he tells you, like, release this $1,000, right? Release this $1,000 and get tenfold, 20-fold. Believe him, even if it's nerve wracking. So that's it. That's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I hope you found this very helpful, encouraging, and insightful. Um, and yeah, I will see you guys next week. As always, trust in God, ask him for what you need. He will teach you, he will counsel you, and he will guide you in the way that you should go. I pray that you are blessed. I pray that success will follow you wherever you go, and that God will continue to guide you in every which way, and cover you in every way that you go, and that he will continue to guide you. So I pray blessings over everyone's life that is listening or watching this. And yeah, I will see you guys next week. Have a blessed time.